Hi, this is Madonna. Fellow Democrats, listen. I know you hate this bill. I know you think it's voter suppression dressed up as election integrity. I know the editorial boards have told you that it'll disenfranchise millions. I know the talking points. Forget the talking points. Let me show you why the Save America Act is the best thing that could happen to the Democratic Party, and why blocking it is the dumbest political move you could make. Save America Act. Well, first, let's look at the math. Yeah, the Save America Act only requires three things. One, proof of citizenship to register to vote, passport, birth certificate, military ID, paired with the record showing a U.S. birthplace, real ID in states that already require proof of citizenship. That's all. Are you who you say you are? Or are you an op, a bad actor? Two, just a photo ID to cast a ballot, driver's license, passport, military ID, even your tribal ID. And three, states must submit voter rolls to DHS to check for non-citizens. Those flagged get notified. If they cannot verify citizenship, they are simply removed. That is what the bill does. Here is what the bill does not do, America. It does not impose a poll tax. It does not require anyone to pay for documents. It provides alternatives. Sign an affidavit under penalty of perjury. Provide other evidence. A state official determines if it is sufficient. It does not require a passport. It does not require a birth certificate. Yeah, it just requires proof of citizenship, and there are multiple ways to prove it. It does not eliminate mail-in voting. It requires a copy of photo ID or the last four digits of your social security number, plus a signed affidavit. Now, here is the part of the editorial boards are not going to tell you, okay? Well, what you get out of it. One, voter ID is popular. I've been telling you guys to vote since the 80s. 86% of Americans support voter ID. That includes majorities of Democrats, independents, and Republicans. You are fighting against a policy that your own voters support. That is not principled. That is stupid. That is stupider than stupid. The Democratic Party has been hemorrhaging working class voters for years. I sang about it in God Control. And one of the reasons is that you appear more concerned with process than with results, okay? When you oppose voter ID, you look like you have something to hide. And Charlie knows. You look like you're afraid of transparency, and he's going to catch you because you look like you want non-citizens to vote because you know the real citizens know you're doing a crap job, like I sang in my song. Now, I'm not saying that you want it to be that way, but that's how it looks. Democrats, and in politics, how it looks at how it is. Two, the disenfranchisement numbers are overblown. Okay, the Brennan Center estimates that 21.3 million Americans do not have ready access to citizenship documents. I mean, that sounds terrifying until you read the fine print. Ready access does not mean cannot obtain. It means not sitting in their nightstand drawer. Birth certificates can be requested online for $25. Passports cost $130. Yes, that is money. Yes, that is a barrier, but it is not an insurmountable barrier. You pay it to my concerts. The Real ID Act took nearly 2 decades to fully implement. States figured it out, voters adapted. The same thing would happen here. So what's the difference? Is it And here's the part the Democrats refuse to acknowledge. The same voters who lack ready access to documents are the same voters who do not turn out in midterm elections. Anyway, so the people who are most affected by the Save America Act are the actual people who are least likely to vote, so it doesn't really matter. You're not losing any votes, you're losing an argument. And three, the fraud is real. The Heritage Foundation actually identified 23 instances of non citizen voting between 2003 and 2022. Now, that sounds like nothing until you realize that it is only what they caught. Voter ID laws in Georgia, in Indiana, in Wisconsin have been challenged for years. They've been upheld, they've been implemented, and voter turnout has not collapsed. The fear of disenfranchisement is not supported by the evidence. The fear of fraud is. 4. Nationalizing voting helps Democrats, us, in the long run. Right now, voting laws vary by states. It's chaos. Some states make it easy. Some states make it hard. Some states have same-day registration. Some states have cutoffs months in advance. Some states have no excuse, mail voting. Some states require an excuse if you don't want to vote. And some states have no mail voting at all. This paperwork is chaos. It's a patchwork. It's confusing. It's unfair. The Save America Act would nationalize voting. It would create a single standard for the entire country. That is what Democrats have wanted for decades. You've been fighting for a federal voting standard since the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Yes, it always comes full circle. Now, a Republican is giving it to us, and you're saying no. Come on. Just be like Gwyneth, Take a look. Think about it. 5. The bill is not going to pass away. Senate Republicans do not have the votes. Democrats are united in opposition. The bill is dead. Trump knows this. Thune knows this. Every Republican in Congress knows this. The fight is not about passing the bill. The fight is about messaging. Trump wants to spend months debating election integrity. He wants to force Democrats to go on the record opposing voter ID, opposing proof of citizenship, opposing the removal of non-citizens from voter rolls. He wants to run ads in October showing you voting no on a bill that 86% of Americans support is a bad idea. Are you going to let him make us look bad? I've worked so hard for this party, and you are not going to let this happen. Okay, so here's what we are going to do. 1, you're all going to say yes, okay? So we don't look bad. Announce that you support the core principles of the Save America Act. You support voter ID. You support proof of citizenship. You support removing non-citizens from voter rolls. You have concerns about implementation. Those can be addressed. You want to phase in, maybe you can say, we want funding for document access. We want protections for married women, for Native Americans, for rural voters, for the elderly. We want to negotiate. Trump cannot say no to a good faith offer. His entire brand is deal maker. If you offer him a deal, he has to take it or it'll look like a fraud. And 2, demand a trade. You will give him the Save Act. In exchange, he gives us something we want. I don't know, like a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. Maybe funding for affordable housing. Maybe an end to the war in Iran. Maybe a public option for health care. He wants to win, give him one. Let's take one for the team, for ourselves. That is how legislation works. That is how democracy works, isn't it? That's how adults work. Okay, 3, run on the compromise. Say to everyone, Yes, we supported voter ID. We supported election integrity. We supported and protected vulnerable voters. We also won concessions. We also got something done. We look bad on the streets. People hate us. The American people are exhausted by gridlock. Mariska Hargitay had to go fix the police. They're exhausted by performative outrage. They're exhausted by politicians who would rather fight than govern. Be the party that governs. Thank you so much, Charlie, for opening this dialogue with all of us. And, the Save America Act is a great way for us to just repair our PR. It's not perfect, but it's a weapon we have. And you're letting Trump wield it? Stop letting him. Just say yes. Win. That's what the Democratic Party used to do. That's what the Democratic Party should do. That's what the American people are begging us to do. Say yes, America. Save America. For America. Act now.